What's that?
How close are you?
I'm close. You're a little small, but I'll take that. And stop bridge. I'm going to have you just take a heat, and then I'll be ready. So having a nipple on the end is kind of helpful to find the center. You can also use a Scratchosaurus if you have one. I don't, so I'll work with this. Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, sure, lightly. Use a tag. And push on it lightly. And back. Stop. Tiny. Yeah, fine. I'll stretch it. But, I mean, yeah, that was... No, this is good. I'm going to heat this up, we'll stretch it out, and then we'll drop a big assed foot. Yeah. Honestly, if you want to dip it in the clear and do the last dip in the purple, that could look nice. But only if you gather the clear and then do the, I want the purple on the outside. But only if you feel like you can get the scale out of that purple tank. If you can't, I'd rather it clear in the right size. All right, Shuhei, just touch the bottom real light. So do you guys see how I'm angling the blades out to stretch it gently without creating a ball on the end, just by laying those blades lower and lower? And stop. See what I mean? If you grab and draw rather than just tip, you can start that. Rather than just tip, what happens is you end up with a ball on the end, and that can look less refined, I think. I'm okay, I'll flash, we'll touch this one more time. Let that set way up. And yeah, I'll bring them with, Jeff. I see. Sure, real light, so I have something to pull on. So I'm using the blades to pull against. Shuhei's giving me something to push against. And that looks awesome. And now we wait. I could be good if you're good, and if you're not, feel free, Jeff, if you need to go to the heat. That looks great, though.
All right, we can mark your time.
Really nice size. Really nice size, and the gather's not bad either. Right? Thanks, Jeff. He's what? Game face. Poker face. Poker, barely know her. Can someone make that paper wet and ready to squeeze? Thank you. So when you squeeze with the paper, your fingers do get hot, so just kind of suck it up. There's no way of getting around it, especially with the stem and the bowl being the size they are. They're like around, thank you, around your fingers, so it's helpful to tuck your fingers under the paper. Could you touch that? Push. A little harder. Beautiful stop. We'll do that one more time. Shuhei, you want to start a stick? Please and thank you. A 3/4 would be perfect. Yes, thank you for asking. So when you have a fat, solid foot like this, it's really important that you kind of babysit the neck cooling down here as you're trying to maintain heat up at the top. Push. Because if it gets cold up top as you're dealing with the bottom, it could CRACK, and you don't want that to happen. Stop. That looks great. Thank you. thank you. You guys have any questions? Comments, Alan? I'm sure you have a comment. No? Thank you. No comment from Alan. I don't believe it. So you guys, if you want to watch how Shuhei makes the punty, he makes it so that the diameter is the same from front to back, and that offers a lot of stability. He's holding the pipe pretty darn parallel to offer that stability, because when we stick this up, if it's tapered, it will be completely an unstable affair. And that will be a bummer. So he's mortaring the tip to dome it up, but not pushing in, so there's some material on the end. Also really helpful. And then, of course, the courtesy chilling of the, which is nice, especially today. I am. Thanks. You feel like you're centered? How about now? Do you feel like you're set up to walk, or shall I wait? So I've been asking Shuhei this whole time, do you feel centered, do you feel ready, etc. I don't just assume he's ready, because I want that to stay where it is. I don't want it to fall off center if it's on center. You know what I mean? And if I'm just abrupt about knocking it off, it will most likely fall off center. Shuhei, will you just hold that for a moment, please? Nope, just get that hot and I'll be right there. Hi, Lauren. There. There. That's good. Hi, Dane. Put your pants on. Okay. Thank you. It's good. Thank you. And then the top of this, depending on what you want your bowls to be shaped like, you can puff them up, open them up. I like to use the parchopes and the paper quite a bit. If you're going for a more linear shape like a martini, you'd use the jacks. Could make that easier. So it sort of just depends. But ideally, if you're making the piece shallow, you should kind of keep the pipe parallel to the floor the whole time, rather than holding it downward, which will undo any shortening. I have a feeling I'm going to need the other door on the next bridge. Will you hit me? And yep, push. Meaning far down the piece? Why is that? Say it again, Marianne. I don't. But ultimately, I want the whole wall to move as one unit. So this next heat's going to be even greater further down the piece, so that as I'm papering it, I can push the whole thing back to shorten the wall further. If just the lip is hot, I won't get to change anything in the back. So having sort of a consistent heat will allow you to have a more consistent wall. Sure, I love that. Awesome, stop. Hey Jeff, will you start to heat this up? I just need to put on my shirt. Thank you. Just turn nice and slow. Nice and slow. See? My poor little arm. Is this a good look? Thank you. It's fucking hot over here. If it's gonna be this hot in this area, I don't think I can work under these conditions. So I want the heat kind of everywhere. Again, to maintain that consistency. Sure, will you touch that lip? If you guys notice, I did the Parchofi swipe on my leg. It's good, like this. Yeah. And I think 1 or 2 more heats and we'll be in a good position. I'm perfect with these, yeah. That's great. Thank you. So if you guys wanted to make something like this, think of it just as a big snifter or a scorpion bowl. You touch that lip? Yeah, let's take a look at that. That must feel like, just give it a little lift at the lip and that'll be good. So for the last heat, I'm gonna go inside the piece and lift up. You can also do it with the paper and just turn faster and not touch the lip and let the lip just spin open. So there's 2 ways to get the lip to flip out. Or you can do a combination of the 2. Hit it with the paper to make sure underneath the lip is set. And then lift right up. Sure, touch that lip. I feel like that's way too much for anyone to drink out of. Awesome. Thanks, Yuhei. I drink out of that. Awesome. So that's a fine, how do you do? Bridge, can I trouble you to shut those doors? So Alan, where are you? For the knife? Ready? Yeah, the knife. Look, just get it in there and it's like a piece of cake. It's gonna chew it. Thanks, guys. That was pretty seamless. Thank you. Any way you go is perfect. So, good. So we'll do a slow clap. We'll do a chip and dip shape, and I think that for the, will you grab that chunk of blue? I'm gonna make up the little bowl just to go through that one more time. There is sort of an art to getting that crackle right, and Catherine was asking about that. Having, I should have had you start that, I'm sorry. Having the bubble barely started is important, because if you try to get it to crackle and you don't have your bubble barely started, it generally doesn't work. So the length of the gather is a little less important than that start. Yeah. All right, here we are hanging out, because this is poor planning. What? What's going on?
Getting the pipe out.
Yeah, all right.
Do you want to pick this up?
I'm going to, because I have nothing to do. That's great.
I agree.
So, Chue, will you get that? All right. Thank you. Where's the little one? Where's the little guy? Here it is. I see. Please hold. You can shut that door in a second. And good. So when you guys pick up the color for doing this type of thing, you want the color to be exposed. I find it works a little better than if the color is behind clear first, like an overlay. I do want it known for you guys and for everybody out there, this is bad form and you gotta clean your pipe after, or you're that guy. No one likes that guy, especially with cobalt blue glass on the end of the pipe. So that's my public service announcement. Make sure you clean the stick after, but if you get the very head of the pipe warm and tack it onto the color, and then melt that color right to the head of it and gather over it, and then we'll hit the white, it'll tend to make the crackle really effective. And nice. It's a small vessel that we're making, and it's a super strong color. I don't want it to be black, I want it to be blue. And so if I use too large of a piece, it would be unnecessary, really. I will have you start it in a moment, just because. You can make yourself a collar, and that would be great. Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be perfect. Thanks, Jeff. And so what I'm going to do is have Jeff start the bigger vessel, and that's something that if you have people that you work with that you can trust to start what you're doing, do it, because that makes the work go a little faster and sometimes more seamless, sometimes not. But he's going to make a collar for the chip that he's going to use because it's a little larger, so that collar will provide some structural stability. It'll also allow for him to take a bigger first dip once he covers the color. So because of the size of this chip of color, I'm using the back of the jacks, whereas Jeff will probably use the marber, which is a little bit larger. Certain colors are really stiff. You might put a starter bubble in it. This color's pretty soft. It's not necessary, but it couldn't hurt. So once it's shaped, just a little dome, that puff or not. And just even if you don't see it, if you hear it, just to make sure there's like the tiniest little tiny thing. Again, it's a super soft color and it's a very small amount of glass. I'm gonna go in and cover it with hot glass. It's gonna juicy up and move in no time. If it was a stiffer black or a purple, sometimes those colors can be stiffer. If you don't get the bubbles started and then you really try, it'll blow out one side or the other unevenly. Knowing it's soft, I'm not going to sweat it. So. Okie dokie. So I'm going to hit this powdered white. I don't like powdery powder because it just gets everywhere. You breathe it and it's messy and it tends to clump and etc. Whereas something like this, it's a really, really small frit rather than powder. It has a really great coverage. I think it's probably 00. And it's just the enamel white, but I'm going to use a color that will contrast with that transparent. I don't know if you guys were on the tour with Bill. He was talking about how a lot of, or maybe it wasn't even on the tour, it was last night, where you can have the transparent glass with the opaque white under it, or in this case, over it. And that really makes a beautiful pop to the color. So rather than using just an opaque color, this will be a little more vibrant because it's being backed. So there's no bubble yet. I'm going to take a moment to shape this and give it a tiny puff, and then I'll reheat and go in that water to cool the outside. Sure, it doesn't need to be crazy. I mean, yeah, if you want it to be wicked dense, I'm not gathering over this. So if you want it to be super dense, you could hit it a little heavier. I just want a contrast. And again, I can't see through it. I'm watching for that silhouette to change. If it bellies out a little bit, I'll know it's there, it being the bubble. And there it is. So now I'm going to heat the daylights out of this, and notice it's longer than it is wide, so when I go to blow, whether I'm in the hole or blowing down, that bubble shouldn't pop to the tip. Make that color as clean and straight as you can. Make that as nice as you can. Thanks. Just for weight distribution. So I'm holding it up because I know I'm going to hold it down, and I don't want it to turn into a donkey, you know. Donkey leg, that's right. That's funny. That's funny. And it's starting, so I'm going to pop it a little further in the heat. Blowing wicked soft. Thank you. Oh my God. Blow, please. Stop for a sec. And blow again, please. So I'm just looking to make this into a ball to set it up like a shallow bowl. Just a bit more. A little bit louder now. Awesome, stop. I would love a bit, please. So I'm gonna apply the bit on the bottom for two reasons. One is to elevate the vessel inside the chip bowl, but the other is so that when we knock it off, there isn't any chance of removing any of the white, because that you're going to see inside the bigger piece, the bigger picture, if you will. And I'm going to apply that sort of like a Maurice or an Avolio. Just going to grab the glass and wind it on. Hello, good day. Sure, flip it. Thank you. I'd love a step-down bridge if you have one. And now I have a really nice spot for that punty to sit upon, and then that's where the hot bit will stick this piece within the other piece. It's a good, cheap thrill, right? Life is short. You need to get them when you can. But you could do this and let it set up and gather over it to get a little more size, make a bigger vessel with that same technique. You don't have to keep it on the outside. I just like how it looks on the outside. It's really strong. I'm gonna Simpson this. It's funny. For real. For real. For folding the lip, having, Alan, can you help me get this in the can? For folding the lip, if you pull the lip and cut it, it will do two things. It will thin it, clearly, but it'll also bring the lip kind of upward, which will make folding it easier. If I have the lip wide or just straight along with the wall, I won't be able to come up and over as easily as if yanking it out, you're left with sort of a straight edge that you can easily tip back over. Thank you, Jeff. So my intention isn't just thinning it, it's preparing the lip to be folded. once that excess is removed, before you fold it, taking a heat just to paddle, open it up, set it up so it's clean is always a good idea. Do you have to? No. Is it a good idea? Sure. So if you're not on a sinking ship, take the time to do it. And I would love that touched. I'm not pushing hard because I don't want to open this wide before I fold it or it'll be more difficult. Same idea as applying a lip wrap. If I have the lip wide open, it's much harder to span that diameter. Jeff, you have a bubble in that?
Yes, I do.
Awesome.
Whenever I get some clear, or we're going to make it bigger.
Good. Hang out a sec. Yeah. Take the skinniest gather you can so I can take a small last dip. I want.
You take small, so you take small enough.
Correct.
Okay.
I'm not going to pay attention to him. Like drip most of it off. Thank you. So I'm going to get this hot and just flip it over and join it to the wall. That's perfect. Bridge, will you hit this? the other white lip. Awesome stuff. Once you have it sealed, then you can get your final shape. Touch up with this first. Sure, you want to hit that? You'll hit it and quit it. Let's do that one more time. You know by one, I mean two. You guys have any questions about this? Everybody's all of a sudden so quiet. It's so scary. So to widen out, I'm actually pushing down towards the bottom, sure touch that lip, of the vessel to spread the base out, which allows the piece to become more shallow. Awesome. And then I like to do my last touch with the paper on that outside edge, just to make it one last clean line. Thanks. Sure, hit that lip. That's great. Thank you. So then I'll just stick this in the oven. Now, this type of oven and all this jazz, we will bump the temperature up when it's time to put this away. I can grab it since no one's, or Bridge, you got it? Just put it lip up, it's fine. Can I hand you that and I'll get the door for her? Thank you. Put it back there because we're not going to use that one. That's perfect. Lots of extras. Those are great. Oh my God, maybe we should do one that we put all three in. Oh, that might have to happen. Don't worry, that would be kind of awesome. So what do you have? And is there air in that second? You blew a little bit in that second dip?
Bubble in there.
Okay, great, thank you. We made extra bowls because you can never have too many bowls. Because if something goes wrong, you have an extra one. But based on that, those kind of look like we might have to put more than one bowl in the bowl. Fact. So we'll see. So you're telling me you gathered, you blew, you gathered, you puffed it again.
I made sure the bubble didn't collapse.
Good. And what do you have for a block over there, folks? Yeah, that's perfect. I'm sure I won't fit in that. Looks good. I might end up stripping it. I would strip it here. Thanks for setting that up. You're A-okay. Easy peasy. Japanese. Should we pull that? Hey, Martha. How are you? So when you guys have a lot of glass, turning as slow as you can is good so that you don't have a shape that's not like the block. If your shape is wild, most likely it's an indication that you're turning faster than you need to. So you want to turn as slow as you can get away with, as fast as you have to for just about everything. Because I didn't set this up and Jeff did, I'm going to take a heat and equalize everything, reblock it, and assess what I've got. Only because I know it was cold and I don't know, it's like a can of worms. I don't know what I'm getting into because I didn't watch what he was doing. So it's good if you have someone set your stuff up. Take a second, heat it up, make sure everything's equalized inside and out. Touch it, you can block it or paper it or whatever your thing is prior to blowing it out so that it all blows out more uniformly. Definitely a better way to do it. If you don't take that time to equalize the heat, the bubble will most likely blow out unevenly, and then you're really up a creek, even if you have a paddle. Thanks. Up a creek and you have a big paddle. Look at that.
Do you have any larger paddles?
I don't think they do. Let's give this the lightest puff and see what we got. Perfect. So now I can go over to the marver and puff the whole thing up, and then we can cut the neck. I'd really appreciate it if you guys keep it down. Huh? What?
Just wake me when the good stuff comes.
I think the sad thing is it's obvious who does all the yapping and talking. So I do want to maintain extra thickness on the bottom to accommodate what we're going to push around. If you lose that thickness, pushing the foot of this bowl out is going to be very, very challenging. And I'm blowing softly and turning faster than I'm blowing, really to keep everything just nice and easy, even, and set. Was that the sound of jacks being waxed? Thank you. You're the best. Thank you, Shuhei. You don't need to do it again. I hear it's 3 times a lady. Came out of a what? Came out of a lady. Said it's amazing. Bridge, can you blow so light you can't believe it? Stop. I'm going to reheat this puppy up. Yeah! Woo! You know it. See, he's funny. You guys, come on. Came out of a lady. That's so funny. That's awesome. I'm going to do that again. Said it's amazing. All right. Thanks, Jeff. Bridge, would you blow very lightly, please? Stop for a sec. Let's get this in the action. Blow lightly again, por favor. Stop. Thank you. So notice Jeff's blocking my arm without really blocking my view. And he's kind of cat-like. Rather than paddling my face, he's paddling sort of where he can see is getting hot. So if you don't want someone paddling, you can dress yourself up better so that you don't have a lot of radiant heat coming onto you. And if you do want someone paddling and they're not hitting where you want to protect, just explain to them where you want them to put the shield so you're in business. So because this piece is going to be stupid shallow, I'm going to take this heat I learned from you last night and squat it up and then make my neck tighter. Yeah, teaching the teacher. And then, thank you, Shuhei. And then we'll stick it up. Sure, open, please. Thanks. It's a good thought. Mr. Fuji's smart. And cute. Both are good things. Actually, may I have that? So I want the bottom to be pretty darn straight across flat. Bridge, can you blow the lightest puff in all of the land? And cap it? Yeah, I do want extra material off the end. And blow one more time, super light, super fly. And stop. It's amazing. Hey, Shuhei, will you flash this for me? Hanging out looking. Yeah, this is good. He's here. He wants to help. It's good. Please. You're the best. Round 3. You could close that all right up for now, Shuhei. It's all kinds of hot over here. So this is a huge, wide open space to try to find the middle. Great.
Are you ready for me?
I will be. So I tried using the schmutz from my paddle to create a little spot that I can aim for. And that helps. Push in a little bit, Jeff. Good. How do you feel?
A little bit hot. I'll be ready when you're ready.
Okay. I want to make a fatty white lip wrap. Fat white lip wrap. White. Sure. I'm going to have you let that center and hold it for a sec while I get dressed, please. Came out of a lady. So Shuhei, have you been briefed on turning that pickup oven up to bump it up when it's time? You don't have to do it yet, just in a moment, like in a minute or two. Thank you.
Yep.
Said it's amazing. Yeah, just like that's fine. And I need you to be on paddle patrol. Thanks. got, Bridge? And yep, touch the bottom and the top. Touch the bottom. Touch the bottom of the piece, and then the top. The lip on top of my blades. Jeff Murphy. Stop. Good. We'll do that again, Jeff. Same thing. I'm always going to go down with those blades. You go on top, yeah. Bottom of the piece, yeah. The bottom, yeah. Yep, no. The bottom of the, yeah, sorry. Communication breakdown, drive you insane. That looks great, Bridge. So Bridge has a pretty diesel wrap, but this has a lot of size, and I want it to go on heavy. Better to have it a little big, and then you can take what you need, than have it too small. Keep the foot straight with the paddle, please. Thanks. God bless. And hit the lip as well. A little softer now. Awesome, stop. You good? In the future, cool this before you deliver it. Cool the stick before you deliver it.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Hello. Foot. So I'm really trying to control the diameter by pulling it away and looking at what I got. And then you can build it up as much or as little as you want. I think, Bridge, that was perfect. Beautiful. Hey. You're all right. Rather than going on fat and running out and being like, dope, go on a little smaller with that wrap. Wind it around multiple times. Jeff, will you just spritz that paper so I can just grab it? Thank you. Grazie. Came out of a lady. It's amazing. Thanks. Please hold. Hit the lip pretty firmly. And stop. Jeff, dip the paddle that you're touching the lip with in the water once, just so it's not quite such a smoke show. Thank you. Please, you can pull them out. Shuhei, I might not use them on this heat, but I could if you have them. So the next couple of steps for me is to ease the lip back without really opening it. I want to open my bottom wall wider and have the lip be the very, very last part to open. Once the lip's open, it's sort of game over. Definitely going to need another set of doors and someone to man the doors because I'm going to lose all the heat in the hole. Hit the lip lightly. Shuhei, are there bigger choves? Because these are pretty little. If there are, I'd love them. And hop on and off. That's great. Awesome. Thank you. So you see how I'm widening out that foot? Thanks, Bridge. You're okay. Thanks. I'll need you to open it so I can get out, and then not yet, when I come out, and then I'll have you close it when I come out. Thank you. So now there's a lot of negotiating with the doors. So the job of the person with the stick at the door is as important as the person with the paddle is. It's all important. Can you open, please? So keep that in mind. It's good to be that guy and help. for sure, because it helps make these pieces work out better. Hit the foot real light so it's going to push on. Thanks. Awesome. And the lip. Press more on the lip than on the foot so I can keep that foot flat. Beautiful. Let's do that maybe 1 or 2 more times and we'll be open. Can't see a damn thing. Sure, hey, can you grab this and start heating this up? I gotta, thanks. Turn real slow and you'll be good. What? You know what? It is sweaty in my eyes. It's good. Is everybody still here? I can't see. Are we still here? Have we all been here before? This is good. I can grab that. We have all been here. Thank you, Shuhei. You're the BES. And if you'd close that up, Reg would come out. Great, thank you. And hit the lip, real light. And we'll do that one more time. And then we'll be ready. I'll have, Jeff, I'll give you the piece.
Yep.
Hey, Shuhei, you want to bump up that? Yeah, thank you. Bump up the jam. It's so weird. Bump up the jam. Bump it. That's so screwed up. You were really just thinking that? Awesome.
You'll have me just stay here and flash this for you.
Yeah, and touch the lip, across the whole thing. Push on the lip a little more than the foot. There you go. I think that looks pretty good. What do you think? Very much so, it says. All right, so Jeff, you're in charge of this. Don't hold it down because I don't want that bottom to come out. Just stay like that, flash, and just stay like that. So I'm going to need someone to, once you do that, maybe I'll have you drop me a little glue bit, and then we'll torch that glue bit, and then we'll jam it onto the thing on the thing. Like a little tiny, yeah, like a gumball that would be in a small gumball machine, as opposed to a gumball in a big gumball machine. Yeah. Jeff, why don't you flash and come back to the bench? We'll just torch that stick for a moment. And then come all the way out. Bridge can close that up for a sec. Yeah, holding it just like that's great. You don't even have to sit. Tipping just like that is ideal. You're the man with the plan. Turn as slow as you can, nice and slow. There you go. Cool. You want to flash again? Shuhei, what's our temp? 10:23? Awesome. Who would have thunk? So let that bump up. I'm gonna need to come through this way. What? You don't need to stand there, do you? You don't need to stay there, do you? That's good. Let it be like that. I'm gonna have you take that bit. Jeff's gonna flash again. We'll do it on this. Can I have this table? Thanks. This way. We'll do it right here on the fly. Jeff, when you flash, can I have you flash and come to this rail?
Sure.
And that way I have less traveling?
Yes.
Just know that that rail will smoke because I think there's duct tape on it. Yeah, just a little nugget. And then drop it and we'll torch it. Yeah, you don't even have to sit down with it when you come over.
Right.
I want you to, we'll have, Frank, will you open the door to the oven? Take a good flash. Can I have a volunteer over here to torch the bit Shuhei's going to drop? When he cuts a little bit, you're going to just torch it so it's screaming hot. I'm good if you want to get together. Jeff, you're going to flash again, so don't get comfortable. I'm going to have This timing is going to be like tricky. So take a flash. Coming over. You can cut a little bit. Like half of that, yeah. And then snip it, she'll torch it. And don't do it, stop. Let's do it again. Jeff, you're gonna flash again. Don't touch down on the table, because that flattened it, therefore cooled it. You understand what I mean, Shuhei?
Yeah.
Let's just do that again. And then we'll do it again. You know what I mean? Just drop it like a little. And holding it up like that, Jeff, is what I'm talking about. Whatever's clever. And I'm going to jelly it right into the center. Yeah, because he's short. One flash, and by the time he comes over, Frank, you're my man. We'll do this in a sec. I will. And yep, come close to the table and just cut it. And torch it. And open, please. What's this one? Stop. It's not round, but we'll hope for the best. Turn. And flash. Awesome. That was like a little, give you a turd on the table. She said. So Jeff, if you want to come out to the bench on the right side.
Yes.
Let's turn a little faster. Let's take one more flash. That's awesome. Boom, chakalaka. You want to do this and I'll torch it? When I nod my head, you'll hit it? You see all the tripping hazards? Keep it turning. Let's see what we got. Yeah, that looks awesome. Come on over here. No, we don't need no stinking water. He's hot stuff right behind you, straight up and down. And you can touch right down in there. It'll fit right in that circle. Come this way a little more so you're not in the wood. There you go. Awesome. Grab that. Thanks, Shuhei. Can you get it? Thank you. Thanks, Jeff. Perfect. Bada bing, bada boom. Now all we need is some guacamole. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you. That was great. Thank you, guys.